Hi, I'm Rich Brown, Senior Editor for CNET.com. Today we're going to take a look at the Origin Genesis. So this is a high-end gaming PC from a company called Origin. So Origin is a new name in high-end gaming PCs, but its founders are actually refugees from Alienware. So that means they've got plenty of experience in building systems like this, and it definitely shows from what we've seen so far. And this config runs about $5,000. That makes it clearly the upper echelon of what most gamers are willing to spend on a desktop. But it comes with pretty much all the bells and whistles we expect to find on a PC in this price range. It's pretty typical as a giant black tower that creates a pretty strong impression on your desk or wherever you put it. Go down the front, you can see it's nice and clean. And up top you can see we've got a handful of ports. We've got a Blu-ray drive DVD burner combo, as well as a series of hard drives hidden behind this door right here. So the hard drives in particular are a standout feature. But the 4 drive bays you see here are for the standard 3.5-inch desktop hard drives. Each comes out on its own sliding tray, and they're also hot swappable, which means you can take them in and out when the system is on. Now for the motherboard ports, you get pretty much everything we look for in a system like this. You get all kinds of USB drives, digital audio, coaxial digital, 7.1 analog, a couple Ethernet slots, FireWire, and a couple eSATA ports. The only missing feature is USB 3.0. Now there are newer motherboards out there that do have USB 3, and Origin has added them to its configurator. So you can see the 2 graphics cards here. Each has a pair of DVI outs and a mini DisplayPort adapter. There's no HDMI port, so you'll have to get a separate adapter if you want to connect the system to a giant television, but given its size, we don't think it's really too living room friendly. So lastly, on the back, you'll notice the system is elevated a little bit to create a little more airflow on the bottom. Origin also includes a filter for the fans on the bottom that you can take out for easy cleaning. That's not completely unique. We've seen other systems that have it, but it's a nice feature nonetheless. So inside you can see that Origin definitely knows what it's doing as far as building a clean high-end gaming PC. The liquid cooling setup is pretty interesting looking. This all lights up when it's turned on. It goes down in the CPU here, and there's no cables really visible for any other components. So for the CPU, this is actually an Intel Core i7-920 chip. That's a 2-point-gig chip that Origin has overclocked to 4 GHz. That's the most we've seen anybody leap that chip up. And it's maybe a little bit questionable whether or not Origin can ship out every Core i7-920 at that speed. We found that this one at least is stable. Now you can see a pair of Radeon HD 5970 cards here. Each of these is a dual chip card, which means the system has 4 GPUs total. We found it is actually the fastest gaming system to come through our lab. Now there are some games that don't really see a big benefit from 4 GPUs. Others definitely will though, and it's especially worth it if you have a nice big monitor that can take advantage of playing games at high resolutions. Now you get a little bit of expandability in the system. You can see a few free expansion card slots in there. And looking over here, you can see the hard drives are nice and compartmentalized. This is all the 3.5-inch drives we mentioned earlier. You get through those through the front. You don't ever have to mess with the wires. Down here, take off the sliding panel. You can see the 2 solid-state drives and a RAID 0 config down there. So while the Genesis is the fastest gaming desktop to come through our lab, it's not the fastest for general productivity. There's a 6-core chip from Intel out right now that other vendors have used that actually turn in faster performance than this one, believe it or not. Origin has added the 6-core chip, so you can definitely shift the config around to meet your needs. But from what we've seen with this particular build, Origin definitely knows what it's doing. So I'm Rich Brown, this is the Origin Genesis.